Did you know that if you're married or in a civil partnership, you could be entitled to hundreds of pounds in tax savings every single year? Even better, if you've never claimed before, you could be sitting on a refund of more than £1,000 waiting to be collected. It's called Marriage Allowance, and despite being one of the simplest tax breaks in the UK, millions of couples are missing out. Today, I'll take you through everything you need to know. We'll cover exactly how marriage allowance works, who qualifies, how much you can get, and the step-by-step process to claim it completely free through HMRC. I'll also highlight some common mistakes to avoid, and why acting sooner rather than later is so important if you don't want to lose out. So let's start with what marriage allowance actually is. Put simply, it's a way for married couples and civil partners to share part of their tax-free personal allowance. In the UK, every individual has a personal allowance. That's the amount you can earn before you start paying income tax. For the current tax year, that figure is set at £12,570. Now, if one partner earns less than that amount, they may not be using all of their allowance. Instead of letting it go to waste, they can transfer up to 10% of it. That's £1,257 to their spouse or civil partner, as long as that person is a basic rate taxpayer. The result? The higher earner pays a little less tax, saving the couple up to £252 per year. At first glance, that may not sound like life-changing money, but here's where it becomes powerful. If you've never claimed before, you can backdate your application for up to 4 previous tax years, provided you were eligible during that time. That means couples can often receive a lump sum of more than £1,000 in refunds, in addition to the current year's saving. Think of it like a hidden bonus, money you're legally entitled to, but that will only find its way back to you if you actually apply. Now, who exactly can claim? To qualify, you must be married or in a registered civil partnership. Living together as a couple doesn't count. The government makes this distinction very clear. The lower earner must have an income below the personal allowance so they don't pay income tax. The higher earner must fall into the basic rate tax band. In England, Wales and Northern Ireland, that means earning between around £12,500 and just over £50,000. In Scotland, the bands are slightly different due to their separate income tax system, but the principle is the same. The higher earner must not be paying higher rate or additional rate tax. Here's a practical example. Imagine Sarah earns £8,000 a year working part-time while her husband James earns £35,000. Because Sarah earns below the personal allowance, she can transfer 10% of her allowance to James. This gives James an extra £1,257 of tax-free income. The outcome? His tax bill reduces by up to £252 for that year. If Sarah and James haven't claimed in the past, they can apply now and backdate for 4 years. That could mean an instant refund of around £1,000 plus the current year's savings, a very welcome boost for most households. So how do you actually claim marriage allowance? This is where things can get confusing, because you may see adverts or companies offering to make the claim on your behalf. They'll often promise to do the paperwork quickly, but what they don't shout about is the fee. Many of these firms take 30 or even 40% of your refund as their cut. That's money you never needed to lose. The truth is, you can do it yourself in about 15 minutes, completely free, through the official government website, gov.uk/marriage allowance. The process is straightforward. The partner with the lower income is the one who applies to transfer part of their allowance. You'll need a few details handy, including both partners' national insurance numbers and some proof of identity for the applicant. That might be information from a P60, a recent payslip, or details from a passport or bank account. Once the application is complete, HMRC will review it. If approved, they'll update the higher earner's tax code to reflect the new allowance. From then on, the savings will be applied automatically through your salary, reducing the amount of tax you pay each month. But what about the backdated refunds? If you qualify for previous years, HMRC will usually calculate this for you once your application is approved. The money will normally arrive as a check in the post or, in some cases, as a direct bank transfer. It's essentially a reimbursement for the tax you overpaid in those years. Many couples report receiving a lump sum of between £700 and £1,000, depending on how many years they qualify for. Now let's talk about common mistakes. The biggest one is using a claims company when you don't need to. As I mentioned earlier, these firms often charge eye-watering fees for something you can easily do yourself. Another mistake is forgetting to update HMRC if your circumstances change. For example, if the lower earner's income rises above the personal allowance, you may no longer be eligible. Similarly, if the higher earner's salary moves into the higher rate band, you'll need to stop the transfer. Failing to update HMRC can result in incorrect tax codes, which may lead to problems or unexpected bills later on. Another pitfall is assuming you don't qualify without actually checking. Even if one of you earns very little, perhaps just a few £1,000s from part-time work, you may still be under the threshold. It's always worth taking 5 minutes to check because the rules are surprisingly generous and many couples wrongly rule themselves out. So why is it important to act quickly? The key reason is that you can only backdate for 4 years. Every April, a year drops off at the end. If you wait, you lose the chance to reclaim that year forever. Right now, if you've been eligible since the start and have never claimed, you could pocket a refund worth over £1,200. Leave it until next year, and 1 year of entitlement disappears, reducing your payout. It really is a case of use it or lose it. The good news is that once you apply and it's set up, Marriage Allowance renews automatically each year. That means you don't need to keep reapplying. The only time you'll need to act again is if your circumstances change, such as changes in income, separation, or sadly, if one partner passes away. HMRC can then adjust things accordingly. So let's recap. Marriage allowance is one of the simplest and most overlooked tax breaks in the UK. If one of you earns below the personal allowance and the other is a basic rate taxpayer, you could save over £200 every year. If you've never claimed before, you can backdate your claim up to 4 years and potentially receive a refund worth more than £1,000. The whole process is free, quick and easy through the official government website. Don't let a claims firm take a huge cut of your money. Do it yourself. Keep every penny and enjoy the savings. If you found this helpful, please hit like and share this with family or friends who might qualify. You'd be surprised how many people are missing out. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more simple money-saving hacks. From hidden refunds to everyday tips, I'll keep showing you ways to make your money stretch further. Thanks for watching and good luck with your claim.